Well, I am real happy to bring on today's guest. Dr. Mary Key is an international business consultant, executive coach, author, speaker, and president of Key and Associates, which is an organizational effectiveness consulting firm committed to helping leaders and companies grow. She is also the founder of the Key Women's Leadership Forums. The purpose of the Women's Forum is to bring together executive women to focus on pressing issues, leverage their influence, and align their careers with what is purposeful for them. Mary's clients have included Ericsson, Nokia, Nissan, Infinity, Bausch& Lomb, Mission Healthcare System, Stanford University, and many government agencies. She's the author of several books, including CEO Rules, Right Focus, Right People, Right Execution, and The Entrepreneurial Cat. Love that title. 13 Ways to Transform Your Work Life. With that, welcome Mary to the ExecuNet stage. They are all yours.
Thank you so much, Tony, for that kind introduction. Well, for over 25 years, I've consulted with, coached, and advised leaders in C-suites. 4 years ago, I started the Key Women's Leadership Forum that Tony just mentioned, geared for executive women. Our women not only take a look at issues that are pressing to them, they look at how to align their career with what's purposeful for them, as Bill George once coined, finding their true north. In that work, I see firsthand the struggles, doubts, and accomplishments women in leadership roles encounter. I'm here today to share my knowledge, experience, and observations about women in leadership and how women in organizations can leverage their strengths. Let me share with you a specific example. Some of you might know this example. You might be acquainted with the Heidi Howard study that was conducted at Harvard and featured in Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. In the Heidi Howard study, Harvard professors asked students, MBA students, to read a case study based on Heidi Rosen, a real successful entrepreneur. All of the MBA students were assigned to read the case about Rosen's career, but half were given a version of the case in which Heidi's name was changed to Howard. Then the professors polled the students about their impressions of Heidi or Howard. Again, the only difference was the name change. The students rated the entrepreneur as competent in both cases, which makes sense given the accomplishments described. But the students found Howard to be more appealing. Yet, while students both respected Heidi and Howard, Heidi was seen by some as selfish and not the type of person you'd want to hire or work for. The only difference in the case study was the name noting the gender difference. Women leaders are not going to be hired for a seat in the C-suite without a strategy customized to their gender. Playing it like a man obviously doesn't always work. Studies like this one make it clear that for women to succeed, we need to follow a different game plan. We know instinctively, if not from direct experience, that positive traits associated with professional achievement are characterized often as male. If a woman is forceful or results-oriented or competitive, some people are going to dislike us. In leadership contexts, these biases play out in several levels. In the ways that organizations structure leadership paths and positions, in the ways that people perceive women leaders, and in the ways that women leaders perceive themselves and what they must do to succeed. If at each level a woman's qualifications for leadership are called into question, this can waylay her career path and impact her confidence. I notice in our women's forums that in general, many very competent women feel that even though they hold a certain position, they have to prove somehow that they're qualified for that position to the outside world, where it is assumed when a male counterpart walks in the room, he is qualified by virtue of just holding that position. Organizations who communicate that women are not well suited for leadership roles reinforce the cultural lens distorted by gender bias. One of the negative side effects of this is women having difficulty developing a viable view of themselves. We as women appear to have a need to be liked, and we get reinforced for that. Are we willing to withstand the isolation and challenges a lonely leadership position affords? The need to be liked can weaken a woman's stance on issues, make her question herself, and be more vulnerable to criticism. One of the women in our forums, I'll call her Megan, shared with the group that she had done all she could do to achieve her dream of becoming a division director for a large firm. Her words, I pictured what it would look like. I followed a development plan that my boss and I worked on together to get me there. I received positive feedback in the interviews, yet I still managed not to get selected. Megan was crestfallen when somebody else got the job, and in this case, it happened to be a male. Megan, like so many others, still doesn't know what the complete reason is that she didn't get selected. She felt the sting of the glass ceiling. I'd like to do a survey here. I'd like to ask our participants, does the glass ceiling still exist for women? Some options, yes, no, not sure. What do you think?
Okay, the poll is open, Mary, and